Hello and welcome in to the Odds Checker NFL Pick Show. What's going on? I am Matt O'Leary alongside Geoff Fienberg. Jeff, how's it going, my man?
It is good. Football season is here, Matt. It's just this pure adrenaline like courses through my body at the start of football season. And I often say nothing tops week one. I mean, we both have our favorite teams, and if they're lucky enough to play in big late season games, that's exciting. But the excitement of week one, honestly, nothing tops it.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. I agree 100%. So just for a little context of what we're going to be doing for those watching at home, we're going to be looking at 4 props today: a passing, rushing, receiving, and then one more of our choice. We're going to have a little game with it this season. So we're playing with 10 units. We'll spread those out and keep track as the weeks go on. So let's get it started with a passing prop. Jeff, what do you like this week?
For me, Matt, and don't take this as a sign of me attacking you potentially out of the gate, but I've been thinking about this literally all winter. All winter, I've been projecting a performance for Sam Darnold in his first game under player-friendly coach Matt Rule, who's also got something with the Jets, a little bit of short history. That receiving core, even short screen passes to Christian McCaffrey, out of the Gase doormat, Sam Darnold over 250 passing yards is where I am going with this one. I've been thinking about it all winter. I'm not picking on you, friend.
Totally fair. I get it. I've seen a lot of that as a avid Jets supporter. There's been a ton about this matchup. Got to give a ton of credit to the NFL schedule makers for giving us this one in week one. That's definitely going to be one to keep an eye on for sure. With you, how many units are you going on that one?
I'll say out of the gate as I get more comfortable, I'm just going to do a equal allocation of all mine this week. I don't know. It's week one. I don't have an absolute fever pitch of any of my props. So yeah, I should put that out there. I'm going to give this 2.5 units. Sam Darnold over 250 passing yards. And you know what? It might not be the last time I mention him on this show today, Matt.
Okay. Oh, boy. Okay. Good to know. So I'm going to go with Joe Burrow over 34.5 passing attempts for mine at a 2.5 units also. So when he was healthy last year in the 10 games he started, he averaged just over 40 passing attempts. He hit this number in 8 of his 10 starts last year. And when you're looking at the Minnesota Vikings defense, they just give up a ton of yards and a ton of, in the passing game, the defense doesn't look great. They're going to go with Patrick Peterson and Bashaud Breeland, who are going to be trying to turn back the clock a little bit, and I'm not sure how that's going to go for them. So I expect Cincinnati to throw the ball a lot this week.
Yeah, I don't think anything is going to change as it pertains to Zach Taylor and how the Bengals will approach it. I'm quite bullish on the Bengals offense, and it all goes through Joe Burrow. So I can't disagree with that.
All right, let's get on over to a rushing prop. Who's someone that you like this week in the rushing attack?
Okay, I feel like I have identified a great opportunity to take a plus money situation here, and I'm not projecting how they'll perform, but I'm going to project volume here. Mike Davis in his first game in Atlanta over 13.5 carries. This can even come with a little bit of plus money when you shop it. Arthur Smith, the new coach there, bit of ball control. He's no Derrick Henry. It's not that sort of workload, but I believe Mike Davis, and how I also believe the game script will go almost for both teams in this game, is going to clear this number quite comfortably. Surprised to see I was even able to get plus money on it. Mike Davis in his maiden game with Arthur Smith in Atlanta at home, on the ground, over 13.5 rushing attempts.
All right, there we go. So a little bit of a change from the last year. Falcons, a ton of passing attempts. I think they led the league in passing attempts. But like you said, bringing in Arthur Smith, we know he loves to run the ball. So I can get behind that pick. I think you sold me on that one, Jeff. As for myself, I'm going to go Myles Gaskin over 43.5 rushing yards, and I'm going to put 2 units on this one. The Patriots gave up the 7th most rushing yards in football last year, and Gaskin only played 10 games last year, but 7 times he went over that number. I think with Tua trying to ease him in a little bit, they'll try to establish the run, and I think this number's a gift, honestly, at 43.5. I think he hits the over by a significant margin.
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you, this is the game that I am anticipating more than any on the week 1 slate. That situation, 4:00, even more so than that Chiefs-Browns game, which many people project to be an AFC Championship preview. I am super excited for this game. I could see it playing out that way. I don't know that I am sold. I'm interested to see how, that defense on the other side is going to respond in week 1, but I can't besmirch that call.
All right, how about a receiver? Is there someone you're eyeing on a prop this week at the receiver position?
Yeah, there certainly is. Once again, we head into week 1 and perpetually underrated, despite people liking to spend all offseason talking about how underrated Keenan Allen is. We step into week 1 and I see a prop of over under 5.5 receptions. The guy, averages like over 10 targets a game. Justin Herbert didn't even throw him a ball in training camp last year. One of the more underrated stories, I believe, was just how they built a rapport out of nowhere. They've become good buddies, golfing together all offseason. This is an easy one, in my opinion. Not only, does Allen get himself open quickly, they have to mitigate that pass rush versus Washington this week. Some quick releases to Allen. I think we'll be celebrating this one before the 4th quarter.
There you go. I like that pick a lot. I'm going to go a different direction and hit you with an under, actually, on a receiving prop. I'm going Allen Robinson under 63.5 receiving yards. I'm going 2.5 units here. The Rams defense led up the fewest passing yards in the league last year by a mile, and Jalen Ramsey only allowed more than 63.5 receiving yards to his receiver once last year. And with Andy Dalton in at quarterback, don't know if he's going to be able to move the ball really too well against this Rams defense. So I think it'll be a long day for Chicago on offense.
Yeah, I think we're all expecting it to be a long day for Chicago. I would say even in us not liking Chicago in that game, not many people like to pick or step in front of Allen Robinson regardless of matchup. He kind of is in some ways felt matchup proof over the years, but versus this Rams defense with Dalton, I would tend to agree. I have no interest in investing in Allen Robinson on Sunday night. That much I know for sure.
There we go. How about an extra one? Dealer's choice. Give me a bonus here.
Dealer's choice. I'm going to piggyback off something I already said off the top here, Matt. No hard feelings. Over 1.5 touchdown passes for Sam Darnold. This comes in at minus 105. 2.5 units for me, just like the other ones. Sam Darnold over 1.5 touchdown passes. I could just piggyback off my points from the first one, be it a screen pass. That receiving core is so deep. But more than anything, Matt Rule is a player's coach. He's a player's coach. He knows exactly what the situation is at hand for Sam as it pertains to this matchup.
There you go. Coming from my throat already here in week 1. Off to a hot start, Geoff. Appreciate it.
I'm sorry. I've been thinking, in defense of me, I've been thinking about Sam Darnold props literally since the schedule came out for this game. Even I wouldn't be shocked if he throws for the most yards in the league week 1. I don't know about long range season Darnold, but for week 1, as you can tell, I'm hyper bullish on Sam Darnold for Sunday.
There you go. So I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers this week over 2.5 passing touchdowns. That's at plus 145, and I'm going to go 3 units on this one. I love Rodgers this week. I think he puts up a really big performance against the Saints. He had 3 or more touchdowns in 12 of his 16 games last year. And with the Saints, I mean, it's technically a home game for them, but they're not playing on their home turf. I think that's going to play a factor in this one. And, both teams are going to like to throw the ball a lot. So I would not be shocked at all if he goes over that 2.5 mark.
I mean, there are so many check marks that I want to agree with you on this one. Just the simple fact that the Saints, in my opinion, as we approach the season now, have become a hard fade. And I am a pro Winston guy. Like, I am one of those guys that can believe in the ceiling, but I think they're just a fade for me now until they're back home. Rodgers with something to prove is arguably one of the most dangerous things in football. And you are betting on Rodgers wanting to prove something week one, even though as football fans, we agree he doesn't need to prove anything to us. He's always got a chip on his shoulder. I like that one. I'll piggyback you there. Plus money, Aaron Rodgers to go off on Sunday.
There we go. So those are our 4 picks for the week on the opening edition of the Odds Checker NFL Prop Show. Going to have to tune in next week to see how we do. And we'll check in on those Sam Darnold prop bets for Geoff over there, see how he turned out.